Beep, 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 beep. Welcome, Jester News, breaking news. My favourite kind of news is the breaking news. So we've got some breaking news for you this morning. Really important breaking news, which I'm glad to bring you from a tweet by Fair Play for Women, who have been in this fight for a long time and doing great work. What we didn't know was that they've been bothering the EHRC and doing so effectively, by the look of it. So the tweet says, EHR commits to take action and enforce the law. We at EHRC are urgently reviewing our guidance on discriminatory adverts and will be updating it shortly. This is the good news. Fair Play for Women says, all in the dubris, all right? Fair Play for Women says, this is an important and long-awaited step forward. For the 18 months, we have been sending EHRC examples of employers that unlawfully encourage men to apply for female-only roles. EHRC now commits to enforce this law. They don't like it of them. If you see a job advert that's restricted to women only, tell us if the employer says that includes transgender women, anyone who identifies as a woman, anyone who identifies as non-binary. It's unlawful. We'll send any examples you find to the EHRC and demand urgent action. Right? So, there's then an article that's in the Tory Graph. Okay, and we've got a really great photo of Dr. Nicola Williams looking ready to take on the world. Dr. Nicola Williams of Fair Play for Women. The Equalities Watchdog, says the article, is urgently reviewing its guidance for employers on single-sex jobs, as women's refuges are routinely and unlawfully advertising positions to male-born applicants. The Equality Act has exemptions which allow employers to restrict a job role to a particular sex if they can show it's an occupational requirement and is a proportionate means of achieving a legitimate aim. A proportional means of achieving a legitimate aim. What glorious words they are. Under these rules, it is lawful for women's domestic violence and rape charities to advertise female-only positions. You would have thought, wouldn't you, that this was obvious to the most reasonable of persons, which we know it is. Fair Play for Women know it is. Sex Matters knows it is. Posey Parker knows it is. Dennis and Clive know it is. The Gay Men's Network know it is. But yet there's a bunch of idiots out there who seem to think it's not. However, the feminist campaign group Fair Play for Women, FPFW, Fair Play for Women, FPFW, has alerted the Equality and Human Rights Commission to 9 different charities which allow men who identify as women to apply for jobs reserved for female candidates. This is interesting, see? A spokesman said, "We acknowledge the need for clarity regarding the lawful use of the occupational requirement exemption set out in Schedule 9 of the Equality Act 2010, and we will take action to provide it. We are urgently reviewing our guidance on discriminatory adverts and will be updating it shortly." Oh, hey, oh. Oh, oh. It's going to be great. I will be updating it shortly. In the meantime, we welcome referrals. Give us the evidence, let's have them. We welcome referrals about potential misapplication of Schedule 9 provisions and will continue to assess and take action to resolve these on a case-by-case basis. Employers should be aware of their obligations under the Equality Act and know that we will enforce them. Dr. Nicola Williams, director of FPFW, said the fresh guidance on this issue was needed because many organisations are misinterpreting equality laws. Misinterpreting. Yes, misinterpreting is probably the word. I was mulling that for a moment. Is it misinterpreting or misapplying? Misinterpreting. I'm such a pedant sometimes. She said the Equality Act has exemptions which allow employers to lawfully restrict a job when necessary, such as with positions in women's domestic violence refuges to people of the female sex. This does not include people whose sex is male, even if they identify as women and have the protected characteristic of gender reassignment. They ain't going to like it up them. They're not going to like it. But domestic violence and rape charities are now routinely misinterpreting this law because of the mistaken belief that they must still invite trans women to apply for female-only jobs for fear of being accused of discrimination. Now, here's my interesting take on it. Well, I think it's interesting, but then I would. It's about me, right? So here we go. Job description, right. Wanted, blah, 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 right. Open only to women, trans women, and non-binary persons. That excludes men. Male men like me. Manly men. Male men like me, like me, or maybe not. Hello. Male men like me. That's excluding men, isn't it? That's right, except it's not. It's excluding some men. Surely that's a discrimination, isn't it? So this is so important. This is so important. Right, so she continues, right? So, but domestic violence and rape charities are now routinely misinterpreting this law because of a mistaken belief that they must still invite trans women to apply for female-only job roles for fear of being accused of discrimination. The EHRC review comes amid a growing outcry among feminist groups against trans women being employed by rape and domestic violence shelters. Why would a bloke want to work in a rape and domestic violence shelter? Dunno. I'm stumped. Now, there was a great programme on television years ago called Hefty Wainscote Interferes. No, Hetty Wainthropp Investigates, right? With the wonderful Patricia Routledge and Dominic Monaghan, who was in Lord of the Rings, as her sort of nipper sidekick. There was one episode which was about a domestic violence shelter and the importance of keeping men out. I remember it, that just came to me. I forgot all about that. Yeah, the men turn up and they sort of do away with them with rubbish and soiled nappies. I remember that. It was quite fun. So we've known this for a long time. You keep the men away from this stuff. Not because they're bad men, but just because they're men. And you've got to safeguard the women. It's not complicated. Why do people complicate this? So go and have a look at the article and see what you think. And let Fair Play for Women know that they have your support. And that you will share this video and their tweet so that people know they can report this to the EHRC. I think it's a really important one, and I'm glad that it's broken. I'm excited this is going to take us forward. They even found out West Yorkshire Police had advertised for a female identifying co-chair. Female identifying. Just West Yorkshire Police. There is something badly wrong with them. I think I'd like to go in there first. Right, come on, get all your paperwork. I'm the woke finder general, and I'm going to have you. By the short and curlies. Nevertheless, fair play for women, fair play for you, getting the EHRC to buck up and pay attention, and that they will enforce the law. This is what we need moving forward. Go well, great to speak to you. Bye.